What's up, guys? This is DB Talkin Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry for the little delay. I had to go get some Starbucks because that's the fuel to my fire, guys. That's the fuel to my fire. Happy Friday, everybody. Let's get to talking about some football, huh? So obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles are playing the New York Jets this week. We understand that. Guys, one of the huge things that I want to get across, just first and foremost, Toxic Falcons, what's up, my man? Welcome to the chat. One of the things I want to get across, first and foremost, is that we should not underestimate this New York Jets team. We should not underestimate this New York Jets team. I feel like, this is just how I'm feeling, that they're not getting enough credit. They're not getting enough credit that they deserve. I'm going to beat this in the head until it's purple. This is a young team all the way around, the New York Jets. They're a young team with Elijah Moore and Corey Davis and Jamison Crowder, all of these guys, Michael Carter, all of these guys at their disposal, and Zach Wilson has had some memorable moments throughout his rookie season so far. This is the same team that took it to overtime with the Tennessee Titans earlier in the season. The New York Jets were in that game. They weren't far away from winning that game. So I want to make it perfectly clear that we should not underestimate this Jets team. Big Play Slay, what's up, my man? Welcome to the chat. Toxic Falcon says, I can see the Dolphins trading for Russell Wilson in the offseason. I can see the Dolphins eating some mackerel. Big Play Slay says, the Russell Wilson and Watson saga returns, LOL. Yeah, let's talk about it. Look, this is Philadelphia. Well, technically I'm in Arizona, but, Philadelphia fan through and through since I was in the womb. Look, if we see inadequate play from an important position like the quarterback position, the first and foremost, the Philadelphia Eagles fans are going to want more. And so, yeah, of course, the Deshaun Watson and the Russell Wilson saga returns. That's expected. It's expected, in my opinion. And to talk about it, look, if the Deshaun Watson shit gets cleared up in February when he has his court hearing, and it gets thrown out the window, you're going to see the Philadelphia Eagles make a strong push for Deshaun Watson. And if not Deshaun Watson, it is probably going to be Russell Wilson. If it's not Russell Wilson, it might be Aaron Rodgers. I wouldn't put anything past Howie Roseman or Jeffrey Lurie when it comes to this offseason in finding that quarterback to get them back on the tippy top of the mountain, my man. Toxic Falcon says, trade Tua and first and third round pick. I don't think they're going to trade. I don't think they're going to trade Tua. I don't think the Dolphins might get somebody, but I don't think that they're going to trade Tua. I think they're going to try and avoid that. I don't think. It depends. It depends on what. If that. Let's open up that can of worms real quick, right? If the Dolphins were able to make a trade for Russell Wilson, Seattle obviously would have to be interested in acquiring Tua Tagovailoa, right? However the hell you say his last name, I never can get it right. Big Play Slay says, so you got Howie Roseman who wants Watson and Wilson, and then you have Lurie who wants to keep Hurts. Yeah. Here's the thing. I think that in a perfect scenario, and I've brought this up before, I think that in a perfect scenario, they are able to trade for one of these guys like Russell Wilson, or Deshaun Watson, and actually, here, let me say this. Perfect scenario is they're able to keep Hurts and trade for Russell Wilson. If it is Deshaun Watson that they end up trading for, I believe that trade would include Hurts. And the reason why is because the youth of Deshaun Watson, he's only 25, and Russell Wilson is about 33. So here's the thing. If we get Russell Wilson, we keep him for 3 years, and he learns under the tutelage of Jalen Hurts learns under the tutelage of Russell Wilson. If it's Deshaun Watson, you're looking at a 10-year thing. Maybe. You're looking at a possible another 10 years with that quarterback. So there's no reason to have Hurts. There's no reason to have Hurts. Big play Slay. I heard. Let me address this real quick. I heard last night on my stream last night from Mike Nixon that you made a bet with him, and that is if the Giants sweep the Philadelphia Eagles, you have to shave your head. And if they don't, if they split, then neither of you guys are shaving your heads. So I hope I don't think the New York Giants are going to sweep the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me just put that out there. I don't think that that's going to happen. So I think your head is protected, but it's going to be a funny sight to see. I gotta say that it's going to be a funny sight to see if the Giants do in fact sweep the Philadelphia Eagles. Toxic Falcons says breaking news: Eagles trade Hurts to the Saints for Hill and a 5th rounder. That is the worst trade regarding Hurts that I've ever heard. No. Nick. I was listening to Inside the Birds earlier today, and they made some interesting points, and we're going to get into that. They were talking about Taysom Hill and Jalen Hurts and how both are dual quarterbacks, and if one or the other is limited in their ability to run, how big of an impact is that going to be, because they do rely on their ability to scramble. It's a big deal. We're going to get into that a little bit more as we go along here. Big Play Slay says the only QB I'd want this offseason, and for 2 specific reasons. Tyrod Taylor, here's why. Jalen Hurts and Taylor have almost similar play styles, and we want competition for Hurts as well. Yeah, I think that that's a perfect. I think that would be a perfect free agency acquisition. Honestly, I think that Tyrod Taylor. I think Tyrod Taylor coming in as a competition body would prove very difficult for Jalen Hurts. If he were to stay on the team in 2022, and I'm not saying that I don't think he's going to stay on the team. I'm not saying that he is going to stay on the team. I honestly don't know what's going to happen after this season with Jalen Hurts, but regardless of all the negative things I've said about Jalen Hurts I've said just as many positive things. I want to keep him on the team. Whether it's as a backup or as a backup. Toxic Falcon says, "Let's go Giants." No, what the why? Big Play Slay says, "I'm going to be on the edge of my seat for that game. That's as nervous as I can get." Crying, laughing emoji. I'm going to pray that I keep my hair. Hey, well, I'll be right there with you. I'll be right there with you. Rooting for you to be able to keep the mane on top of your head. Guys, let's get into what they were talking about on Inside the Birds. Jeff Mosher, Adam Kaplan. Here it goes. If Jalen was, let's talk about this first. Let's preface it with this. Jalen Hurts was questionable today, or he's been listed as questionable for the game. Boston Scott has been listed as questionable for the game. Obviously, he's been dealing with an illness throughout the week. Jordan Howard has been listed as out for the game, which is not a good sign in my opinion. I want to get Jordan Howard back as quickly as possible. Guys, the fact that they're listing Jalen Hurts as questionable for the game makes me think twice about his availability for this game. I understand that he came in, he said he's going to play on Sunday. I understand that. But was that more of him just kind of like playing it up for the media? Because Nick Sirianni and this offensive coaching staff were a little bit hampered on those decisions. So we'll see. I mean, the fact that he's been listed as questionable makes me think twice. And just bringing this all back to Inside the Birds and what they were talking about, these guys are Jalen Hurts is dependent upon his ability to be a dual threat quarterback. And if you can't be a dual threat quarterback and you are asked to just sit back there and pass, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You would hope that it's going to bring you production. It would bring development for Jalen Hurts, but if he goes and he can't run because of that ankle, it's going to make me worry. Now, obviously, we can talk about the Jets a little bit and this week's game and this week's matchup. They don't have a lot of depth at defensive end. Vinny Curry obviously had something. They brought him in the offseason. He's been out. Carl Lawson, obviously, I think he tore his ACL earlier during a practice earlier in the season. So they're not gonna they haven't had those guys, and behind those guys, there's not a lot of depth. You know what I mean? So how much pressure are they actually going to get on Jalen Hurts if he does have to sit back there and pass? Toxic Falcon says being bald and being in the cold doesn't go together. Yeah, no, agreed. Toxic Falcon says Jets might win. Well, that's kind of what I want to talk about. And that's why I started this stream the way that I started it. Zach Wilson has had some remarkable moments so far in his rookie season, and this team has been in there close for with a couple games that just ended up losing them. One of which, most importantly, was the Titans earlier in the season. Zach Wilson did put them in a position to win that game. Here's the thing. Here's one of the things that I've noticed about the Jets and their statistics, and that is this. They are last in the league when it comes to turnover ratio. They're minus 15. Minus 15. That's 30. That's ranked 32nd in the league. 32 out of 32. Obviously, that's last in the league. In my point of view is that's one of the big reasons why they've only won 3 games. It's one of the big reasons why they've only won 3 games. Because they've had some remarkable moments on offense. They have been playing better defense as of late. So all it's going to take is one game for them to get that turnover shit corrected. And we saw it. We know the Philadelphia Eagles had some shit earlier in the season where all it took was just one game to get certain things corrected, whether it was the penalties, whether it was, the shooting ourselves in the foot. Obviously that caught up with us last week, but I mean, turnovers, that's shooting yourself in the foot. You can get that corrected. And so all it's going to take for the Jets is just one game to get on the right track with that. One game. And could that be against the Philadelphia Eagles, who, by the way, have a hard time getting to the quarterback this season? So we'll have to see. Toxic Falcon says, wait, it's Minshew time, baby. Maybe. If Jalen Hurts doesn't go, it's going to be Minshew. And what will we see? If Minshew is in there? You know what I mean? Will we see more of the offense that Nick Sirianni wants to run because Minshew might be able to throw the ball better than Jalen Hurts? Maybe. A lot more RPO, a lot more what we saw. It's possible. Obviously Shane Steichen and Nick Sirianni both said that we're probably not going to change much regardless of who's in there at quarterback, which is smart. It's a smart thing because the Eagles are number one in the league as far as rushing offense is concerned. So that's just one of those things that, do you want to continue to try to run the offense that you have been trying to run, or do you want to stick with what's been working over the last, month and a half? Toxic Falcon says, if Minshew has a good game, I think it's over for Hurts. I understand where you're going with that, and I don't necessarily agree quite yet with that. Technically Hurts has been given the season, unofficially to to prove that he's the guy. I think Gardner Minshew would have to have a phenomenal game for that to happen. Talking about like 400 yards and 3 touchdowns with 0 interceptions type of game. And he would have to pass the eye test. He would have to be turnoverless. He would have to really carve up the Jets defense like a starter. Like a starter would. And if Minshew goes, maybe he will. You know? But then again, like it's hard to put a value on it because the Jets are down like 6 defensive starters. You know, former Eagle practice squad player safety Elijah Riley has started the last few games for the Jets and has played decently well. So I mean, you know, Joe Flacco is obviously over there with the New York Jets, so he's probably telling the Jets everything that the Eagles might do. There's that advantage for them. So we'll see. But we do know this is that in the joint practices earlier in the offseason, the Philadelphia Eagles absolutely demolished the Jets in those joint practices. So yeah, we'll just have to see. Guys, I also want to talk about Dallas for a second. Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, head coach Mike McCarthy is going to be out because he has COVID. And they elected Dan Quinn to fill in as the head coach for him. I think that is a stupid move by the Dallas Cowboys when they have a young, promising offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore, who has been rumored over the past few seasons to have head coaching opportunities and had been rumored to end up taking over as a head coach at some point in Dallas. Like, I feel like they just missed on an opportunity to really test the promising, the promise of Kellen Moore as a head coach. But only Dallas would do that. Only Dallas would do that. You know what I mean? I mean, like why? Like, why? Why would you, like, and maybe they, maybe they are making the right decision and not wanting to really mess anything up too much by keeping Kellen Moore as offensive coordinator during this time that Mike McCarthy's going to be out. But, you would think at some point, right? You would think at some point that they would want to test out his ability to be a head coach in Dallas. So, who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows what Dallas is doing? Who knows what Dallas is doing? Nobody. Not even me. I couldn't even tell you. It's just an absolute, brainwash. Honestly. Mind fuck. So, but obviously, guys, this is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. There is a recent report, obviously, that came out on Bleacher Report. This kind of goes back to what Big Play Slay was saying. Big Play Slay, I'm not sure if he's still in the stream or not. The Eagles GM, Howie Roseman, is less confident in Jalen Hurts as QB next year than Jeffrey Lurie. Let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that. That's a report that recently came out today from Bleacher Report. It really doesn't matter what Jeffrey Lurie thinks. I mean, it does and it doesn't. Like, it does and it doesn't. And here's why. Like, if Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie have opposing opinions, Howie Roseman, we know, is going to find a way to convince Jeffrey Lurie that his idea is the right idea. It's the same reason why Howie Roseman still has a job. Because he's been able to convince Jeffrey Lurie that his ideas are the best ideas. And so if Howie Roseman truly doesn't have faith in Jalen Hurts, which I do believe that, and Jeffrey Lurie truly does have faith in Jalen Hurts, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if Howie Roseman thinks it, then truth be told, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. He's not going to be the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2022. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I believe this. This is what I believe. I believe that Howie Roseman, like everybody, like all of us, want to see Jalen Hurts succeed. Want to see him do well. Want to see him turn that corner as a passer, because if he turns the corner as a passer, there's a possibility that he might be great. That he might be great if he turns the corner as a passer. But he's not. He is not. And that's where we go with this. And I'm tired of talking about this, but unfortunately, it's the hot topic out of Philadelphia amongst Philadelphia sports fans and amongst truly, honestly, the NFL, because there is something really polarizing about Jalen Hurts. There is something really polarizing about Jalen Hurts. And if he turns the corner as a passer, he could be a face of the franchise. He could be a face of the franchise. He could be one of the faces of the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, he could be up there with the Josh Allens or the Justin Herberts or those guys if he turns the corner as a passer, because he has that dual threat ability. But getting back to this report, it doesn't fucking matter if Jeffrey Lurie has more faith in him at this point than Howie Roseman does. Because if Howie Roseman doesn't have faith in him, then that's what will be. That is what will be, because he'll be able to convince Jeffrey Lurie that his ideas are the best ideas, as I've said. So, and honestly, my 2 cents on that is I got to agree with Howie Roseman. First time in a while, I think I've said that. First time in a while, I don't think I was going to ever say that ever again, but I do agree with Howie Roseman. He's being smart about this. I mean, you look at guys like Justin Herbert, you look at guys like Josh Allen, you look at guys like even Zach Wilson, even rookie quarterback Zach Wilson, who's not having the type of rookie season that everybody was hoping that he would have, you know, but he's passing the eye test. Jalen Hurts isn't passing the eye test. The eye test is one of the biggest tests as a young quarterback that you have to pass. You have to pass the eye test. So people out there around the league, NFL analysts, whatever, who like to compare Carson Wentz's stats through the first 20 games compared to Jalen Hurts' first 20 games, it doesn't matter how similar they fucking are. It doesn't matter how similar they fucking are. It doesn't matter that Jalen Hurts has more touchdowns because he has the ability to run the ball than Carson Wentz through those first 20 games. Carson Wentz, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, passed the eye test like a fucking badass with flying colors. That is what is most important for a young rookie quarterback and cementing himself as a face of the franchise. You got to be able to pass the eye test. You have to be able to pass the eye test. Matt Ryan passed the eye test, Toxic Falcons. Matt Ryan passed the eye test. That and then some. And wasn't he taken 2 overall also? Or was it 1? Or am I just way off? I don't remember. But I agree with Howie Roseman. He's being smart. He's being smart about looking at other quarterbacks. I agreed with his decision to go to the University of North Carolina, the University of North Carolina game. I believe it was that game with Sam Howell versus Kenny Pickett. And they were scouting Kenny Pickett. You know, I agreed with him then. You know, do your due diligence. Do your due diligence. You have to get that. That's the one position that you have to get right. You have to get that position right in the NFL. Quarterback position, first and foremost. You can't in today's day and age, you know, you cannot call yourself a franchise on the rise until you get that quarterback position cemented. It's the most important position on the field. It is the most important position on the field. Why? Because quarterbacks can make changes at the line. Quarterbacks are the ones who start with the ball in their hand. You know, they're generals. They're generals of the hash marks. You have to be able to get that position right. And the Eagles had it right. They had it right with Carson Wentz. People got impatient, and people got impatient because of one fucking bad season. We can bring this up again. I defended Carson Wentz all of last year. You know? He is a good quarterback and has been a good quarterback. And will continue to be a good quarterback. He'll probably continue to even get better under now that he's with Frank Reich. He's where he's supposed to be. There's no arguing that. I'm not going to argue that. He is where he's supposed to be. But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how this plays out. I think for Jalen Hurts to really, turn around the opinion of Howie Roseman, he'll have to play lights out the rest of the season. He'll have to look like he did in the Cardinals game last year throughout the rest of the season to turn around, to change the mind of Howie Roseman. If Howie Roseman truly believes that, that's what he'll have to do. And that's what we expect. Because honestly, Gardner Minshew starting could be the beginning of the end for Jalen Hurts. Gardner Minshew is not a slouch. He's got 37 touchdowns to 11 interceptions in 3 seasons in the NFL. So, I have faith in Gardner Minshew. And I have faith that Jalen Hurts could show us something. But I also have a little bit of lack of faith that he has the ability to do that, and so we'll have to see. You know what I'm saying? We'll have to see. But, guys, this is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. I might be back on with you later tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Big Play Slay and Toxic Falcons. One love. You guys are awesome. Don't underestimate this Jets team, as I've said. Don't underestimate the Jets team. They might put up a better fight against the Philadelphia Eagles this Sunday than we are giving them credit for. Because right now they're 7 points. The Eagles are predicted to win by 7 points, which could happen, or it could be a lot tighter than we think. But again, thank you guys so much for joining in. Happy Friday, everybody. I might be back on later with you guys. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. One love and go Birds, baby.